Hey everybody, thanks for joining. Welcome to my channel, Fuchsia Floyd. My name is Eva, and this is my cat Charlie. Yeah, he's just hanging out here. I was inspired by a video from Dayle's Addiction, where she just talked about her bags, how silly they were, but ultimately how happy they made her. And then I thought to myself, you know what? I've got some bags in my collection that I think meet the criteria of silly. Yeah, so I thought I might show them to you today. What do you think, Charlie? You know, who's to judge what makes it silly? But I'll show them to you and you can tell me what you think. This is the Fendi micro double baguette. Yeah, so look at this right here. This is a silly bag. It has a monster on it. Now granted, if you didn't want to wear the side with the monster, you could turn around because it is a double baguette. So I guess, you know, there is that going for it to kind of counterbalance this personality here. But, you know, I can see how this could be viewed as a silly bag, but at the same time, it definitely has some personality. It definitely has some character. I didn't think that I would be a monster bag kind of person, but when I got this bag, I totally fell for it. So much so that I couldn't send it back even when I realized my phone wouldn't fit in here. And for me, that is a big, big deal. So I made a little hack to use this internal space between the two sides of the bag. And of course, I've made a separate video about that. I love the personality, I love the character, though it could be viewed as being silly. Another Fendi bag here on my silly list is this chef's bag. If you've not seen the chef's bag before, it is exactly what it is describing here. In fact, when you turn it upside down, it looks like a little chef's hat. I hope you can see the Zucca print. It's black, but the Zucca print is there on the fabric material. But I mean, it's a vintage bag. It's just, I thought it was just charming. I have this extra strap that I can attach to the side rings here and use it as a little crossbody as well. You know, it's a character piece. It definitely could be seen as silly in that it is imitating a chef's hat. I'm going to put this Loewe bag in my silly bag category as well. It's beautiful, but it's also a lot in terms of a lot of colors, in terms of a lot of, you know, visual stimulus, and also in terms of the material. It's like a straw raffia material. So it's not the most like practical kind of bag, but wow, it sure is fun. I mean, those colors just go all the way around and on the bottom. And of course you can see the Loewe patch here. I also kind of think it's silly because it has this knot detail, and the remaining leather of the knot just like flares out with its own like attitude. But my heart is just full of joy when I see these colors. So that's why I bought it. Silly to others, but it's okay with me. This bag is for sure silly. It absolutely is. This is a Furla bag, and it is made out of plastic. It's like a jelly bag. I haven't shown this on my channel before because I just recently got it. It opens up here with this lock, and I just get a real kick out of it. I know it's silly, but it's also practical. I mean, look. My phone can fit in here, and I have so much more space still to work with. I was in the Furla store when I was in Lisbon. And when I went into that store, I was going to get a souvenir of my trip. And I was like bound and determined to get something like reasonable, you know, and I did. I got a lovely bag. I made a video about that as like a souvenir of my trip. And I do enjoy using that. It's a Furla Net Mini. But I remember when I was in that store, there was like this whole wall of these bags made out of this material. Like, you know, some of these styles and some like Boston style bags as well. And that wall was backlit. So the light was coming through these bags. My eye was so drawn to that display. I really wanted to look at them more. But I kept telling myself, like, that's not reasonable. And it also reminds me of my childhood, because when we were like, you know, in elementary school, we wore those jelly shoes, and it's just like nostalgic, and it's just fun, and it just makes me happy. Like, I can't help but to smile when I have this bag. So I do believe there will be actually some practical times in my future when I'll be using this, like when my boys, if they do a sporting event or something and I need to go support them and be out in the rain and it might be a muddy situation, then I think this would be a great bag to use for something like that. But in the meantime, it's here, it makes me happy. Silly or not, I'm glad to have it. And then finally, this Coach shearling tabby silly. It's silly because of the material, because of the limited use. I can't, really take it out in the rain. It's limited in its styling and how I can only use it in certain seasons. It's in that way, it could definitely be seen as silly. But wow, have I gotten so many compliments when I wear this out? Absolutely. I get so many compliments when I wear this bag out. Now, that's not the only reason why I bought it or anything. Like, I just enjoy it for me. And by the way, one of my boys, it's his favorite bag. I mentioned that in a previous video. He loves to come in. He loves just to touch this bag. And I mean, I understand why. It's like super fun for your senses. In daylight, it does throw some fuchsia tones to it. But when the lighting is not so bright, it does have a more burgundy hue to it. I call it a shade shifter for sure. It does make me happy and gives me some joy. And I think that's the whole point of this video. That's my interpretation anyway, from when Dayle was showing her bags, is that they may not be the most practical or the bags that you could use all year round or that might not go with every outfit. But whatever the case, they bring you joy, they make you happy. Silly or not, we are glad to have them. And I just enjoy the variety that they add to my collection, is what I'm trying to say. So Dayle, thank you for the idea of starting this video. So she did tag some people when she made this video. So I think this topic and this title is free game to anyone who would like to make a video about their silly bags. So thanks so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, I'll really enjoy that. I'd like to have your company as we go forward. Silly bags, serious bags, whatever the case may be. Thanks so much. You take care and I will see you next time. Bye.